RAID setup for Macbooks running OS X El Capitan. If we take two hard drives running at 3 gigabits each and set them up in a RAID, this will combine both of their speeds and make them run at 6 gigabits altogether. This will allow you to access your data up to 2 times faster. But before we proceed, let's make sure that your specific MacBook is capable of getting the speed boost. In the top left corner, click on the Apple logo and go to About This Mac. Note your specific model size and year. Open up Safari and navigate to appledollars.com. Once at appledollars.com, click Upgrades. Select Setup RAID System. Click on MacBook RAID Setup. Scroll down. Here you will find a chart of all MacBook years. This chart will include a test that we have conducted at appledollars.com and the benefit that you would get if you were to create a RAID system for that specific model. Now that we have this information, let's see what we're going to need. We're going to need a toolkit that has a Phillips head and a T6 screwdriver, 2 hard drives, preferably solid-state disks, 2 SATA to USB converter cables. These cables will allow us to set up the hard drives without having to put them inside of the MacBook. We're going to need an Optical Bay Storage Adapter. Please note that all of these can be purchased separately at any online retailer or as a kit at appledollars.com store. Go ahead and open up your MacBook. Let's plug in both of the SSDs. Plug in the SATA to USB converter into the drive and plug the drive into the USB port on the MacBook. Go ahead and repeat the same procedure for the second drive. Please note that we'll be cloning the current MacBook hard drive onto this RAID setup, so both of the drives will have to be plugged in for us to be able to format them and set them up in a RAID system so that we can clone the current hard drive image onto the RAID system. Let's create the RAID. Go ahead and begin by opening up Safari and navigating to appledollars.com. At appledollars.com, there is a command that we will need to copy and later paste into the terminal. Once at appledollars.com, click Upgrades. Select Setup RAID System. Click Macbooks. Scroll all the way down where you will find the command that we need to copy. Please note that the last 2 instructions of the command are going to depend strictly on your specific setup. Go ahead and select the command, right click on it, and copy it. Let's go ahead and go to Go, Utilities, and open up the terminal. Once inside of the terminal, type in disk utility space list. This will give us a full list of all the hard drives that are connected to the system. The 2 hard drives that we plugged in through the SATA to USB cables will be listed here. Please note their identifiers. Their identifiers are going to need to correspond to the command that we're about to paste. Go to Edit and paste the command in. Don't run the command just yet. Let's become familiar with it. Disk util runs a non-GUI disk utility. Apple RAID create stripe is a sub-command of disk utility to create the RAID stripe. Storage JHFS Plus Disk 2 and Disk 3 combines the two disks into the RAID system. Make sure you've chosen the correct disk, as running this command will wipe out Disk 2 and 3. Go ahead and run it. This will take about 2 minutes. Once the drive is formatted, let's make sure that it shows up correctly in the disk utility. Let's go ahead and type in exit. This will quit the terminal, close the terminal window, and quit the terminal program. The RAID drive should already be on your desktop. Click it once and rename it to Macintosh, HD, or SSD RAID, depending on your specific setup. This will allow us to track it more easily. Let's go ahead and go to Go Now and go to Utilities. Select Disk Utility and open it up. Click the Macintosh SSD or HD RAID. Verify that all the information is correct, that it's formatted as a RAID set volume, and that both of the hard drives have been combined into one single hard drive unit. Go ahead and close everything. Let's move on to the next step. Open up Safari again, and at appledollars.com navigate to Downloads. Click CCC4. This is Carbon Copy Cloner, free 30-day trial. We're going to use it to completely clone our hard drive onto the RAID drive. Go ahead and open it up. Click to move it to the Applications folder. Click Agree. Click Trial. You can purchase this if you want, but for now, let's keep things free. Select your source destination as your regular hard drive that you use. Select the destination as the Macintosh SSD or HD RAID that we just created. Click Clone. You'll be prompted for your password. Put in your password and continue. This process can take anywhere from 15 minutes to multiple hours depending on how much data you have. Once completed, we can go ahead and close the Carbon Copy Cloner. The next step varies depending on what kind of MacBook you have. Go ahead and navigate back to SaveAppleDollars.com homepage. Go on the top left, go to About This Mac, and familiarize yourself with your specific MacBook model again. This one's a 15-inch 2010 model. Back at appledollars.com front page, click on MacBooks, select your screen size, ours is the 15-inch, and select your MacBook year, ours is the 2010. Here you'll find an interactive video map. Find the DVD drive replacement video and play it. Watch this video for instructions on how to remove your DVD drive, as our second hard drive of the RAID system will be placed there. Once you're familiar with how to remove it, go ahead and close everything. We're ready for our next physical setup of the system. Go ahead and eject the drive. Once ejected, we'll need to pull the drives out of the Mac. Go ahead and do that and disconnect them from the SATA to USB converter cables. Please note that now your entire operating system is divided onto these two drives. We can go ahead and unplug and shut down the MacBook. Let's take out our Optical Bay Drive adapter. It doesn't really matter which drive that you put into the optical adapter, as both of them will recognize each other. Go ahead and unscrew the adapter screws and insert the SATA drive right into the adapter. Make sure it's firmly in and the connection is made. Now screw the screws in so that the hard drive is firmly inside the adapter. The adapter is now ready. Let's flip over the MacBook. You'll need to remove the screws and remove the panel. Let's install the first drive in first. On this specific model, you'll need to loosen up the two Phillips head screws to remove the hard drive bracket. Disconnect the original hard drive. Now let's remove the DVD drive. Disconnect the Wi-Fi cable and the iSight cable. Now disconnect the DVD drive, SATA cable. Go ahead and remove the two Phillips head screws that are securing the Wi-Fi card bracket. Now let's remove three Phillips head screws that are securing the DVD drive in place. There's one in the top left corner, one in the bottom left corner, and one in the rear middle. After removing those three screws, we can lift up the drive. We'll need to disconnect the SATA drive cable adapter and the two Phillips head screws that are securing the rear screw bracket. We'll need to transfer these two things. Let's take out our Optical Bay adapter. It's shaped the same way as the DVD drive. Let's go ahead and reattach the rear screw bracket with the two Phillips head screws. Now attach the SATA converter cable. Place the Bay adapter into the slot and reconnect it to the logic board. Secure the three Phillips head screws. Remove the 4 T6 hard drive screws from the old hard drive. We'll need these screws for the new SATA RAID drive. Transfer them on. All MacBooks use T6 screws for the hard drive. Go ahead and plug the drive in, place it in at an angle, and drop it into its socket. Secure it with the hard drive bracket that's attached with two Phillips head screws. Go ahead and reattach the Wi-Fi card bracket with two Phillips head screws. The long one's on the left side and the shorter one will be securing the right side of the bracket. Now plug in the iSight camera cable first. Next, plug in the Wi-Fi card cable. This concludes this installation. Replace the cover and secure it with the 10 Phillips head screws. We'll need to perform one last step. Go ahead and power on the unit. press the Command Option P and R keys before you see the gray screen and hold them down. Keep holding them until you see the black screen again. Now you can let go. We just performed a non-volatile random access memory reset. This allows you to recognize the RAID hard drives quicker. This improves boot time. We're done. Thank you very much for watching.